Be Mother's Day, and my mom's going to be really surprised when we show up for a social distance Mother's Day party with Brazilian cheese bread. I am super excited to make this. I had it for the first time down in Florida with some girlfriends, and it's gluten-free, little high carb, but it's so tasty and really easy to make. So you start off with a third cup of water, a third cup of milk of choice. I'm using flax milk today. You add to that half a cup of either butter or olive oil. I would prefer to use butter, and the last time I did, that's what I used, but today I'm using olive oil because I'm almost out of butter. And I'm going to make some cookies too. Well, maybe not today, because that's why my hair's wet. I'm getting ready to go. I overslept this morning. A teaspoon of salt. And all this goes into a pot on high heat, and it gets stirred until the salt dissolves and this comes to a boil. So that's going to take a minute, and I'm going to go dry my hair while this heats. Hair's dry, and this is boiling. So we're going to stir it, remove it from the heat, and add 2 cups of tapioca flour. Now this is what makes this really high carb. Tapioca flour is the starch of the cassava flour and cassava root. So it's gluten-free, and obviously, like anything that's a starch, oh, gotta turn that off, like potato starch or arrowroot starch, they're all a little bit higher in carbohydrates. So you can see I'm stirring this, and it's lumpy, and that's what it's supposed to be. And you stir it until you can get it as smooth as possible. I think you can see that. There we go. Now it's starting to smooth out a little bit. Well, not really, but I've made this before, and it worked out well. So I'm going to trust, there we go. Now it's starting to come together. This is a really tasty dish, and when I told my mom about it, she said, "Doll, you've got to make that for me," though she doesn't know she's getting it today. Surprise! Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. It's almost like riced cauliflower. And now it's going to dry. It's going to dry it. My hair's dry, but it's going to cool for about 10 to 15 minutes. And then we're going to add cheese and 2 eggs. So we'll be right back, and I'm going to finish getting ready. I can't tell I put on makeup, but this is as good as it's going to be today. And that's okay. My family loves me. So I have cracked 2 eggs into this tapioca covered measuring cup, and I'm adding it to my tapioca, olive oil, water, flax milk mixture. And I'm going to stir that in. Ah, that's how I remember it looking. So it looks more like this. Pretty golden color, and it's much more of a batter-like consistency. Now, I've seen a lot of different recipes. I am not even attempting to take credit to say this is my recipe, because it's an old recipe and a traditional recipe. But I'm making it because it's a gluten-free recipe. So see how nice that looks? Now I'm adding the cheese. And that's where I've seen a lot of variation, but I'm going to do it with a 1/3 cup of shredded mozzarella and a 1/3 cup of Parmesan. So I'm just using one there. The Parmesan's on the bottom, the mozzarella's on the top, and I'm going to stir it in. And then what I like about this is you can make it in advance. So you can make the batter, and what I did the last time is I cooked half of it baked half of it, and then the other half I just stored in the refrigerator and baked it a couple days later. So I am going to bring it to my mom's house ready to just go in the oven. So I'm going to make sure the cheese is well mixed in, and see, that is a really nice batter-like texture. And I'm going to go grab a baking tin, and I'll be right back. And so I have scraped all the batter out and dropped it by very large rounded spoons onto this ungreased baking sheet. And this is going to travel to my mom's house, who I am so excited to see because I have not seen her since before the lockdown. And when we get there, we're going to bake this at 375 for 15 to 20 minutes. Actually, maybe even a little bit less, because I made these a little smaller than the recipe called for. But this is the way I remember eating them when we were down in Florida. They were like hand-sized, delicious little puffs of cheesy goodness. So that's what we're going to be having in about an hour and a half. So I'll see you later. Actual Mother's Day.
Oh God, that's gorgeous. Look at that.
Oh, cheese bread.
Bread.
Dig in.
I'm going in. Ow.
Yeah, it's hot.
Ow.
Careful, but you'll love it.
How can you have a virtual Mother's Day? What's going on to do?
Well, it's social distanced. What do you think? Party in your mouth? Happy dance.
Oh, look at it.
Can't get too close. Oh, you know what? I'll grab one. Go for it, Gordon. Okay, let me go around you. And there it is. Our beautiful cheese bread.
Look, 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 look.
Here. Woo! Cheese bread. Make it and enjoy.